2014, welcome back. We got New Level Investment Management LLC Fantasy Stockball Edition. I hope your 2013 was great. New Level returned 77%, so we had a great year. We're looking for a great 2014. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're doing all of the wild card playoff teams this week. You got the two games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. And we're going to get started with the Philadelphia Eagles versus the New Orleans Saints. Now, any other week, I would say this would be a no-brainer. The Saints would take it, no doubt about it. But you got the weather impact for this game, pretty much for all the East Coast games, with the blizzard and the cold winds. The Saints, with their high-powered offense, and the Eagles with that lackluster defense. I mean, they did give up 348 yards to Kyle Orton last week with the Cowboys. So you think Drew Brees would go in there and shred this defense, but I think with that cold ball, it could be a different story. I'm not sure. Maybe the Eagles get the running game going, and then, who knows? They can score. But I'm still going to go with the Saints this week. I like the Saints, and I actually like them with 3D Systems. It's a 3D printing company. Their stock symbol is DDD. They're trading around $96.48 a share, and we like the Saints with this stock because of the growth potential. This is one of the few stocks that you can play in the 3D system for as far as publicly traded is concerned. They have a decent balance sheet, not great. They're starting to get some retained earnings. Their revenues are increasing every year, which is good. And you may not be familiar with 3D systems, but if you've seen the YouTube video or the guy that makes a 3D gun, I kind of compare it to how the personal computer used to be. You'd get that huge, big computer. It was about the size of a house. It probably cost just as much as a house. And then, of course, with technology and competition, that shrank as well as the price. Same thing with 3D systems. You get these great big printers with a big price tag. But I think as that comes down and technology grows, so will this company. So I like the growth potential. Next up, we're going to go with the Colts versus Kansas City. Now, the Colts got the Chiefs in Arrowhead earlier in the season. We think Kansas City returns a favor. We think they go up there and beat the Colts. We like the Chiefs with Radio One. It's one of the few and only publicly traded companies that is black-owned. Stock symbol is ROIAK. They're currently trading around $5.10. The reason why we compared Kansas City with Radio One is we feel that Kansas City or the Colts probably, may get that game, but I still think it'll go to the Chiefs. Radio One is not a growth stock. It's not going to, grow 20-30% revenues for the next whatever years. There's a lot of competition. Radio's kind of, going away. You got Pandora, you got Apple coming out with their products, Spotify. But what we do like about Radio One is that they own TV One. And TV One kind of reminds us about BET used to be. They're showing a lot of the Martin reruns. You got Good Times and things like that. But now they're starting to dip into their original programming. They have Unsung is a good show. Roland Martin hosts News One. And they still have Black Planet. You guys still have a Black Planet page out there. So it's not a growth stock, but it can, maybe, it'll give you a decent return. It actually gave us a great return last year. The prices were so low, it had no choice but to go up. So it returned somewhere around 150% in 2013. We don't see those levels in 2014, but we like the comparison with Kansas City and Radio One. Next up, we're going to go with the Bengals versus San Diego. We like the Bengals at home. We think that there'll be too much for San Diego. We compared the Bengals up with Medbox. Their stock symbol is MDBX. They're trading around $28.74. Now, let me give you a little bit quick background on Medbox. Think of Redbox, the DVD company that you go out and get your $1 DVD. But think about it in the marijuana sector. Medbox has a vending machines of where you can get prescription marijuana along with other drugs, but prescription marijuana is their big thing. And now, of course, if you've been reading the news, Colorado is one of the first states that have legalized marijuana for recreational use. The government is hands off. They're basically, giving the states, a leadway to this. So if Medbox can tap into some of that market, we think California is going to be next, followed by Washington State, and any of those states that are strapped for cash, Detroit maybe. These are, something that they'll start to think about. If Medbox can tap into that, the growth is potential. The reason why I don't advise you to dive all the way into Medbox right now. There's so much uncertainty with this company. Let me give you an example. For 2013, their stock price went from $8 all the way up to $100. That's a lot of volatility. It's a lot of risk. They don't even trade on the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange. They're over the counter. Same thing with Cincinnati. They could lose to the Chargers, or they could be in the Super Bowl. The volatility is there, so that's why we like that matchup with Cincinnati and Medbox. Last but not least, we have the 49ers traveling to Green Bay, below 30 degrees with wind chill. That's crazy. I just don't know. San Francisco got them last year in the playoffs. They got them in the home opener this year as well. Green Bay looked good against the Bears, but I think if San Francisco brings that tight defense, which I think they will, the Packers are not facing the Bears' terrible defense this week. I like San Francisco. Get it at home with Yahoo. It's based in San Francisco, right? They're trading around $40.12. One word for Yahoo: Alibaba. They own about 20 to 30% in that Chinese company that's going to IPO this year. Valuations are going to be roughly about $100 billion. That's going to be huge for Yahoo. And that's it. Way to get things started in 2014. We hope you stick with us. Have a good one.